Welcome back. Absolutely. I am thrilled today. Welcome, audience. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think you are the best podcast audience ever because you are. And today you're going to be blown away. I am so excited. We've got Melissa Heathers in the house. I know you know her. I know that you know her book just went international. I know that you know her and have heard her name around our circles because this woman is going to be hitting our stage just a couple of months. Also from the Ireland event that we did, Rise Her. She participated in that as well, and everyone got a copy of her incredible book, which we're going to talk a bit about today. And you know what we're going to talk about today? We want to talk about the theme around here is stand up, speak up, and show up. That's exactly what this woman does. But the world of authorship has just reached everybody. And if you are an entrepreneur, or you're in this world, or you're a speaker, or you're a coach, or you're a trainer, or you're out there networking and connecting, like a lot of you are hearing people saying, I'm an author, I'm going to write my book, I'm going to finally get to it, I'm going to take some time, I'm going to do all these wonderful things, and, finally get to the thing I always thought I was going to do. Or you hear, never thought I was going to, right? The world of anthologies, we all know the 262 anthology and all the things that are happening in regards to that. So there's this incredible world that's going out there where people are really sharing and they're becoming super vulnerable. They're sharing from the heart. I'm going to let Melissa tell you the topic of her or the title of her book, but they're really getting to it and they're really sharing. And if you think about that compared to maybe even 10 years ago, like you just did not hear about so many people authoring. The tools weren't as available. The knowledge wasn't as accessible. And so now it is. And not only are authors writing, they're talking, right? They're telling, and they're getting on stages, sharing about their passion. And I find that a lot of the books that are hitting the market are exactly that. It's about someone's passion, it's helping, it's personal development, it's business development. Even when someone tells their story, it's meant to inspire and move people forward. So that is what Melissa Heathers has done, and all things. Melissa, I'm going to invite you to the show. Welcome to Mission Accepted today.
Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm super excited to be here with this groovy leader, Deb Drummond, and the founder of 262.
Absolutely. Well, look, we called each other today and said, make sure you wear your black glasses and make sure you wear your black dress and make sure that you had your hair blonde. I was like, I came on the show today. I'm like, I'm looking in the mirror. But that's what happens when when you start hanging out with groovy people. Okay, let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about this book, and then let's talk about what it's like not only to write a book, but then decide to take parts of those books and take it, even louder and stand on a stage. So please share with us the name of your book and what inspired you to put pen to paper.
So my book is Dear Ego, Dear Heart. Um, my inspiration was actually my healing journey. It was just for myself. And it took me a while, and I pivoted 18 times. I was going to write a book just about being the average Josephine and, living life and having a parent with cancer who passes and all my traumas in life. And then I realized like a memoir is not really my style. Poetry is my style. But it's really about aligning the head and the heart. And through my healing journey, that's what I did. I aligned my head and my heart. It was so disconnected. I lived in a place of ego for many, many years. And, my inspiration was to inspire people with love and self-love and aligning themselves once again.
Wow. It's interesting that you say that you pivoted so many times, right? Because when I think that if you've been on the planet for a little while, there's many stories that you can tell,
Mhm.
right? There's many stories, there's many journeys, there's many overcomes, there's many forms of inspiration. And even for myself, right, I have a business world that many times I teach things about business. And then I'm like, yeah, but there's this emotional side too. And they play a part. Like everything is relatable to things like you talk about love and you talk about self-love. And your book around Dear Ego, Dear Heart, um, some people think that those are two completely different things, but I don't think so. I think that they have a relationship. Um,
Absolutely.
tell us how the title came to be.
Um, it's funny that you say that. You're super intuitive. They they are people, the world thinks they are separate entities, but they're not. They're all a part of you. Your mind, your thoughts, how you perceive yourself, how you observe yourself is part of your whole being. And if you're way over on left field and you're only in your thoughts and you're not with your emotions, you're not aligned. So it was super important to me. And I write about it in my book that your mind and your thoughts and your ego is a part of you, and each part of yourself has to learn how to embrace yourself. So it's a super important venture for me that people learn how to really accept themselves, both sides of themselves, your ego and your heart and your emotions.
Now, I can, sometimes, you can hear the next question, right? So somebody out there wants to know, so what's the benefit of that? Like, what is it about getting in touch with your ego and getting in touch with your heart and reading about that? Is it more about life's poetic and I want to share this journey? Is it more about what happens for someone when they start to recognize those parts of themselves?
When you take the moment to really look within yourself and say, hey, I have these thoughts and I also have these emotions, and you take the time to heal that, what comes is self-love and self-acceptance and awareness of who you are. And once you're kind of aware of who you are, you can really learn to accept things about you. And at the end of the day, it comes to becoming your true, authentic self.
Yeah. Yeah. We hear that word a lot about being authentic. And I think there's a new lease on life around being able to be more of yourself, have a sense of freedom, self-acceptance, self-love, part of the journey, um, allowing life to be interesting.
Mhm.
Life to be interesting. This morning I woke up and I had this kind of flash of an experience that I had when I was much younger, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. And it wasn't like I didn't attach a whole lot of things to it. I was like, well, that's an interesting thought to have however many years later, right? Okay, so how long did it take you to put this book together? You said that you danced with this for quite a time. And so when you decided to put this together, how long did it take you to complete?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 years.
I never asked that question. And I'm like, why am I asking that question? I think that's so important that, because we live in a very fast, hey, you too can have da 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 in 90 days. And I mean, it's just everywhere, right?
Mhm.
But that there can be something very profound about moving it at the pace that, dancing to that, dancing to that.
Yeah, I love that, Deb. Like, it really was a dance. Like, I'm not a writer or an author by trade, so it really had to be when I had the downloads or when I was living life in my authentic self and experiencing beauty. Like, I really had to feel things with the world. And when I did, I would get a download and then I would write. So that's why it took a little longer for me.
No, I don't tend to ask that question. And I'm like,
No,
there's
no.
something about the time that is perfect to ask because, you know, taking the time to author, write, journal, what have you, here we go, should not be full of shoulds, like, oh, it took so long. Well, really? Long compared to what? Like
Yeah.
long compared to what? Do you know what I mean? So look, we're going to talk a little bit about speaking because I know that you do both. Some authors, they do the book and standing in front of a stage, they'd rather go write 10 more books, and then there's people that speak and they're like, I keep speaking my story. I don't want to, nor desire to, nor feel like I can put it down on paper. So you're doing both. When you speak, do you share about things in your book or are you sharing about something else that you offer the world?
It really depends on what the interviewee wants to talk about. So
Mm.
I have spoke about very heavy emotional darkness that I've endured in my life, and I'm okay with that because I am an open book and I want to share, those experiences. And then there's other times where it's like just about the book and the inspiration of the book. So
Right. Let's talk a little bit about speaking, because we've talked about authoring, and I find it really interesting. Every speaker has their own way, from how do you prepare? Like, how do you prepare? You talk about emotional content. So there can be different preparation for people that are talking different topics, right? I think about some of the speakers that I know that talk emotional contents, some of the things that they need to do in terms of self-care, or their preparation is very different if someone's talking about AI, for example. What about for yourself, right? What about for yourself? Is there anything that you would say that you do to help prepare yourself to speak in the way you want to be heard?
Well, this is really all very new to me, especially the speaking component. I
Mm-hmm.
was new in my heart. I was a writer and I would be a writer one day. So, after I launched my book, there were some immediate podcasts and lives that I had to do. And I had never done anything like that before. I'm very introverted and shy by nature. And I also had a brain injury about 12 years ago. So sometimes I really struggle verbalizing things, and I really had to like heal that for many, many years. So for me, the key is it's preparation. And also, like, I kind of try and observe my thoughts. And if they're going crazy or my ego's taking over, I just slowly redirect it, meditate. And right before any sort of live or speaking event, I do what's called Kundalini punches and breathing techniques. And then, most importantly, I've always promised myself that I would speak from my heart. And that's what I do. I just speak my truth, and it's always got to be from my heart. So.
No, it's really valuable for people to share that piece, because with people that speak and then kind of don't know how to put themselves back together, right? Leave themselves kind of, unsown. And people that want to speak or want to share, that whole preparation before and or preparation after is very important, including, which is something that I think overall we probably don't do a lot, is even like a little celebration dance or something. We just kind of speak and we go into it, and then we forget that the majority of the world would never want to get up on stage. The majority of the world would never want to share, and just the nerves alone. So the preparation beforehand, I think, helps people understand. I do the same thing. I do some grounding. I have spoke the same subject many, many, many years on some of the things that I teach. I still just rewrite it. Now, I'm a big neuro person, right? And did a lot of brain health for a lot of years. So I love to write. I just know that it imprints so much better. And I'll take a look at my notes. And sometimes I look at my notes and I go, you've written those notes 20 times because you spoke on that 20 times last year. But that's part of my process. And I think it just helps me write it out. And there's a knowingness. I'm like, oh, I have notes. Even though I don't need notes, I have notes. Or I do the same thing. I get really quiet right before I tend to go out in the balcony, because I'm on the 11th floor, so it's not like I can go outside and put my feet on the ground immediately. And I just go, okay, whoever needs to hear what I need to say today, let it be one, let it be two, let it be 20,000. It doesn't really matter. Just let's make sure that I say what's needed to be said. Someone showed up today for something special, that extra person that needed that something. So yeah, very, very, very good. Well, how long have you been doing what you're doing?
Authoring
Yeah. Like, when did the
and
book
speaking.
launch? Yeah.
Um, it's been about 4-year journey, and like I said, I started different books at different times, and it just didn't take, and this one spoke to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking live, I'm a newbie. I'm a baby girl.
Yeah.
I look forward to learning from you.
No, it's
Since
great.
December, I guess, like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
exciting though to be open to that. So, yeah.
I think it shows that one opportunity, when you brave up in one area, that it leads to other opportunities. And I think it's something really important to be seen. I do a lot of shows, myself and my son do a lot of shows with, you know, this incredible new generation of entrepreneurs that are starting it, right from the get-go, and so Ocean being 21. And we talk, the last question that I ask, and hey, let's throw it out there, is, what's the big picture? if it could come true, what is it that you want to come true? And there's so much power in being in sharing what it is that we want and where we're going and what we're looking for. And it doesn't matter if it's now or 10 years from now or 5 years from now. There's something, and I think you understand that, and probably along that, philosophy, that when you say it, there's a cool vibe that
Mhm.
goes out, right? And so, these young creatives are doing their thing, and I'm like, what's the big goal? What do you got that you want to go on? And they tend to have it, they know it, right? And they may be, not close to it yet, but there's this, it goes out there and it lays track. And I think the same thing is when you actually start to put one foot in front of another and conquer something, then all of a sudden all these doors open, and it can be interesting. It can be interesting. It can be that, it can be people retreat a little bit. It's too much success too soon.
Mhm.
Or it's like, ooh, I didn't know to do that. Or it's thrilling and it just continues to go. At some point, I think you're like, ooh, people get to, wow, this is getting pretty cool and groovy. That's usually when they grab a coach and go, ooh, this is getting pretty big. But what about for you? Like, did you expect that when you wrote that book and put it to market, that these opportunities would come?
My philosophy is to have no expectations.
Mm,
Um, but I'm clear audio and I have downloads and hear things. And I'm not super religious, and if you are, that's great. But I really, in my heart, felt the faith that I was supposed to write this book, and it will be a trilogy. So I'm supposed to write this trilogy. So, and I'm a really powerful manifester, but I wasn't used to, you know, the success that comes with it. And I didn't know how to network. And it's been a really great learning opportunity. And I love how you talk about our kids' generation. My son's also 20, and they just have it. Like, I wish that I had that when I was little. Like, we just didn't. We were seen and not heard in our generation. And yeah, so.
yeah, it was very different. I say that from the generation before us till now, I feel like there's been 10 generations.
Right?
I mean, yeah, the consciousness that's come, the evolution, the conversations, um, the allowance, the growth, like, everyone growing up, I call it. It's been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. So look, let's talk. We've talked a lot about different things that you've taken that have felt risky, but is there one, we're mission accepted, 007, da 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 da, taking risks and running on the adventure, sure, and then jumping in. But was there something that was like, okay, what was one of the biggest risks that you felt that you took?
Oh my gosh. There's been so many risks in my life. I actually recently left my 18-year corporate career. I'm still in the industry, but more family run. Um, but the biggest risk I actually took was keeping faith that it was okay to lean into myself and take a real hard look at what was in there. And then the rest of looking deep allowed me to let go of my ego and take that leap of faith from my heart to heal myself and, love myself again.
Mm-hmm.
Risking being vulnerable with myself was scary, but through it, I really learned to trust myself and believe in myself and really align my head and my heart. And you know how the old saying goes, Deb, no risk, no reward. And my reward through all of it has been courage and self-love. So, now I have the courage to be vulnerable with the world and share my vulnerability from a true place of love with my writing and now podcasts. So yeah.
Very cool. Look, we're going to wrap up soon, and I can't ask that question and not ask this, because life is full of surprises, right?
Right.
Life is full of surprises, and some of the coolest things have happened in my world of entrepreneurship and in my life, right? Things that you just would never expect. For one, having our project at the Emmys and Oscars, I can tell you, was not on my treasure map. Like, I've got 4 treasure maps double-sided. And not on any of them now, there was words that said, go big, good things are happening, like all those kind of things. But sometimes you just can't see that. Or, standing in church one day and Pierce Bronson's in there, I'm like, I like your work. He's like, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's nice. Those kind of surprise things. What for you has been one of the coolest? Oh my gosh, I never thought this would happen. Or I never thought I'd meet this person. What's a cool surprise that's happened for you?
Oh my God. So, as we know, I'm a self-published author and it was all new to me. And, once upon a time I was an analyst. So after I launched my book, from time to time, I would just go on Google. I didn't have any SEO searches, and I would just search my book titles or my website to see kind of what pulled up. And to my amazement, about a month ago, Dear Ego, Dear Heart was the first thing that the SEO searches engines did. I had like nothing to do with that. I don't know anything about that. So yeah, it pulled up everywhere and it was on some pretty big catalogs and big hitters, Barnes and Noble, Indigo, Maggard's and Quinn, World Books. And so when I did that, I was like really tired. I don't know what was going on. It was late at night. And I thought I was delusional. Like I was like, I'm dreaming. Like I'm dreaming. This is not happening. So I called my partner at work. I'm like, can you just like search my book or my website or my name and see what happens? And so he did, and it was true. Like the book had made those catalogs, and yeah, that was my biggest surprise. So
That's a great surprise. That's a great surprise. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to talk to the audience a little bit, then I'm going to come back and ask you something. But, if anyone is scared out there to do what you've done, gone into business, eased your way out of a corporate career, getting on stages, writing a book, anything like that, what advice would you have?
it's scary. I get that. And we always live in either a place of love or fear. So my advice to you is like believe in yourself and find the tools that you need to find the confidence to believe in yourself and stand up, speak up, and show up for yourself. And then you can do that for others. So
Right on, right on. Okay, so audience, you know what we got going on. You've been hanging out with us for a long time. We are so grateful for everything that you do. This is really easy. If you want to be sitting where Melissa is and you want to share your purpose or your nonprofit or your mission, look at we're called Mission Accepted. So if you have a mission and you want people to hear it, then we're the show to go to. So you can go to debdrummond.com and you can hit the contact button and you're going to hit myself and the team and we're going to work it out for you to get here. And if you want to author, give us a call. We can help you put all that together. If you want to do a book launch, if you love women in print as much as we love women in print, we love authors in print, but we do something really special for women in print. At the end of our summit, every single one, we have this incredible party, and that party is someone having a book launch. And it is fun because if you've never been to a book launch, if you've never heard the behind the scenes, it's kind of like when you go and you listen to the behind the scenes of your favorite movie. There's always a story behind the story, and it is awesome. And it is kind of like, I love that backstage stuff. It's like when you get pictures from the photo shoot, but it's actually from someone taking pictures of the photographer of the photo shoot. I find it always much more creative and so much juicier. So we want to see you at these book launches, at the summits that we're doing. We have one coming up. Well, we have one every quarter. So March, whenever you're listening to this, right? So we have March, we have August, we have November. You're going to hear Melissa in August. And then if you've missed that for some reason, you are going to pop over to the women's channel and you're going to be able to hear her share there, which is very exciting. So if you'd like to have your book on our summit, we'd love to support that as one of your lunches, because I believe in multiple lunches for a very long time. A book is new. A book is new for a very long time. Now, Melissa, I'm going to ask you this great question. It's completely different energy. So you're on your way to a desert island, you've got a suitcase, and you've got room for one little piece of vinyl that you're going to take with you. What album could you not imagine not listening to for the rest of your days? A song, an artist, or an album?
Elton John, Tiny Dancer. It's my
I love that song. I love that song. Oh my goodness. I've seen him twice in concert. It's so great. Man, good choice. All right. Well, all of the information about Melissa is going to be in the show notes. You know where to go. Thank you, Melissa, so much for sharing your time and your words with us today on Mission Accepted. And for you, audience, as always, you be well, you stay groovy, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.